Hi, I'm Lori Nanan, and I'm a staff member of the Academy for Dog Trainers. And I'm here today with Academy founder Jean Donaldson. And I wanted to get some perspective on Jean's experience over 20 years of running the Academy. So I'm so glad that we actually get the chance to sit down and talk in person, because that doesn't happen for us a lot.
No, it doesn't.
So let's start off by talking a little bit about 20 years and what your expectations were when you started.
Well, when I started in dog training, there wasn't a course of study. I did competitive obedience. I did a university degree with relevant topics, went to seminars, I read books, and you sort of try to cobble together how to do the job of pet dog training. And I really felt ill-prepared. I mean, I really didn't feel like I had a handle. I had to make it up as I went along. And as the years went by, gradually I did piece it together. And so my hope with the Academy was to give people a sort of a one-stop shop, so they wouldn't get this kind of piecemeal, shallow bits of stuff and have to do that. So I hope to achieve that when we started.
Yeah, and it's certainly I've been around for about 8 years now, and I've seen that there's a real thirst for what you've put together for the Academy at this point, which is really, really fantastic.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about what you want prospective students to know. What should they expect coming and applying to the Academy?
Well, we never want to scare people off, of course. We want people to be enthusiastic and to come, but they do need to know that it's pretty rigorous. Mm-hmm. It's not like most of the other opportunities out there for education, be they programs, certifications, courses, seminars, and so on. It's more rigorous. And so one thing students might want to do is really read through the curriculum, think about the 2-year commitment, speak to students, speak to grads, think about, is this something that they want to bite off? And if so, that's probably the best choice for them. But if not, they may want to look into the other options.
And one of the things that's so cool about the Academy at this point is that we have such a great community of students and grads, and everybody is always so willing to talk to people who have interest in coming and joining us. So here we are 20 years in. That's a long time for anybody to do anything, really. What keeps you going?
I think what keeps me going, case coaching is one of the things that I do every day. And it's really good that once students are done, it's kind of like the medical model of once you have completed your medical school, you then do an internship and a residency. Mm-hmm. And so our seniors and our grads and people who are starting to do the really difficult work, it's fun. I get to keep my hand in by helping them with their cases. That is really gratifying, especially when not only the case goes well, but that student gains like an extra piece of knowledge that's going to help them hopefully have a long and very thriving career and help more dogs.
Yeah. It's a really wonderful thing about the Academy, that the education doesn't stop just because you finish the program, and we're there for each other.
Yeah, supervised practice is really important. Yeah. It really needs to be much more granular than kind of the dog training world at large would have you believe.
And so looking forward, what do you see, in the next 5-10 years for the Academy?
For the Academy, I think we're going to keep on keeping on. We're going to continue to hone what we do based on numbers. I'm a numbers freak, and so we're constantly looking at our outcomes. We're looking at what students need, how they then go on to thrive or not in their careers, what people do well or not. And I'm hoping in the world at large that we're going to continue to fund research and do research ourselves to get information about such things as training methods, about efficiency, welfare, and so on. And I think what we're probably going to see at large in the next 5 to 10 years is licensure for dog trainers. It's just an idea whose time has come. There needs to be consumer protection. There's still too much Wild West out there.
So you just mentioned the idea of licensure in dog training. I know for me that's been one of the most frustrating things, so I can only imagine what that's like for you to have been in the field for so long, and we're still lacking regulation, and anybody can call themselves a dog trainer. What do you think some of the next steps are there?
Things are better than they used to be. I sometimes think to myself when I see somebody who's been out, for a couple of years and they get extremely frustrated that they say, oh, look, this trainer has done this, and they're incompetent or they're using aversives. and I can't take it anymore. Somebody has to do something. I think what we've been trying
Yeah,
for 20
yeah.
or 30 years, and so there has been effort and there has been movement,
Mhm.
but it's still not mandatory. I mean, in this country, in the U.S., anybody can hang on a shingle and be a dog trainer, do virtually anything to dogs, and that just has to
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I'm really proud about is the fact that we go to bat for that on a public level through our educational efforts, the things that we do that are public facing. And so I think we're in a nice position to be able to, at the very least, start to raise more awareness amongst people. And as you said, it's been happening over time.
One of these days, what might kick it off is why wasn't I told I could do this chicken lawsuit? That somebody's not going to have been offered the opportunity of informed consent.
Mhm.
They're going to be told they have to shop their dog, they have to use negative reinforcement, they have to use positive punishment, and it's dressed up in some sort of language for them, and their dog is injured or hurt, and their relationship is damaged, and the dog is now fearful, and they're going to find out that, wait a second, I could have done this with
Yeah.
chicken, and they're going to lawyer up,
Yeah.
and at some point that's going to happen.
And for us as an organization, I think what we are able to add to the conversation in terms of our public-facing education and what our students are learning and our grads are doing, we're in a really wonderful and unique position to start to influence that.
Yeah, people need to start expecting more from dog trainers.
Absolutely.
Being well-meaning is not enough.
Yeah. So one other thing I was wondering was, if you had it all to do all over again, what would you do differently?
Well, what I would do is, early on when we first started, the criteria for entrance was centered around having a good dog resume, so had you done sports and done lots of stuff and worked on dogs and read lots of books and been to lots of seminars, and academic potential. In other words, do we think they had the smarts to be up to the curriculum? And now, those two things now are under personality factors. This is a people profession.
Yes, absolutely.
And for one thing, as you know, we're protective of our community. The internet can be a really hostile, horrible place, and we really are protective of our little oases on the internet. But it's not just that; it's that to do this job, if somebody is not well adjusted, or they don't like people, or they think people are perps and dogs are vicks, and so on, they're just not equipped. So we really now are really looking for people who have the right attitude, who are going to bring contribute to our community rather than be entitled or be a drain, and are going to be enjoy the work that they're going to have, inevitably having to teach adults and children.
And I guess the thing about that's really, really good for us in specifically in our field in general, is that we do allow for healthy venting, but we provide so much padding for our students and grads in terms of we've got your back, and we're here to talk through cases and stuff like that. That we're really, really lucky that we have that, and it's so true. One of my big things is people don't suck, and they don't. To go into these relationships where we're supposed to be working hand in hand with somebody is enemies, because we don't understand. They don't understand where we're coming from. We don't understand where they're coming from right away.
It's a recipe for burnout. I mean, the people who self-select into dog training because they think people are horrible and not doing right by dogs, and dogs are fantastic, are on a path to burnout, especially if they're not competent. So the combination of not being competent and not liking people, it's just I want no part of it.
So I agree. We've definitely that's something that you've honed in on, and it shows in our community and it shows in our practitioners. So so grateful to you for all of the baseball stat crunching that you've done over the years.
And I'm so grateful to you because community is you are such a huge, vibrant part of that community. You just radiate people don't suck.
That's right.
So important.
And I love our community. I think that one of the keys to longevity is being surrounded by people that you actually want to be around.
That's
and we've done a good job of doing that for each other.
I think we've actually pulled it off.
Well, thank you so much, Jean, and we look forward to 20 more years of the Academy for Dog Trainers.
Oh, thank you, my dear.